welcome to the In Everything But the Kitchen Sink playlist department. Today, we're composing comics turn by turn until the page tears itself, but only while ruling with a deck of cards and hoping the locusts have read the rulebook. Then we drop underground, cracking a whip like an old laptop on steroids, dodging half a galaxy's bullets just to feel skilled. And, oh right, we're also cloning dinosaurs to stock a park that's, yes, almost perfectly safe. See what else awaits. Make yourselves comfortable. Popcorn ready? Roll it! LootMage throws us into procedurally generated dungeons where we dodge more bullets than responsibilities while improvising builds with staves, swords and orbs. We gather essences for synergies, slot mana stones into the gauntlet to unlock arcs that definitely will not break the balance. On death, we lose the loot, but keep the only true reward, the hard lesson we will happily ignore tomorrow. Voice of Belldona starts with a world at war and hands it to a socially anxious, super lowly goddess. What could possibly go wrong? The new reality teems with mythic races and fairy tale civilizations, and the mysterious energy called the Source reigns on everyone, humans included, while we try to decide whether the chaos is a bug or a feature of the universe. Super Zoo Story puts us in charge of the calm, well-run zoo we always wanted, right up until the sloth shift sheet meets the brilliant idea of mixing DNA for new variants. We design enclosures, rebuild the oceanarium, dig up fossils, befriend over 40 characters, and discover that, between visitor demands and dinosaur moods, the hardest animal to train is us. Plus, Ultra Legado is the 2D Metroidvania that has us leaping across Europe and the Americas in lean Claire style, while our collector impulse fills in every pixel of the map. We unlock abilities, face bosses, and when the speech balloons run long, we pop them without remorse, not out of artistic rebellion, but because the only dialogue we truly listen to is between us and a well-timed wall jump. Rabbit's Tail parks us in a purple world with permadeath and a symbiote-style companion who watches while we make questionable choices. We explore interconnected maps, power-up abilities, face enemy waves, and a not-so-friendly order, all carried by a hypnotic soundtrack that politely drowns out our squeals. Vitrified hurls us into an open world and makes us survive the nuclear desert thanks to Alan, a life-saving robot and the healthiest relationship we've had in years. Among sand, secrets, worms, and mutants, we ration water and energy, upgrade our tin friend, and discover that the real boss is couples management, just with less communication and more radiation. The prison in Fletcher's quest is a Metroidvania-like set inside a burned-out developer's head. No spa here, only anxiety, upgrades, weapons, bosses, and a procedural generator that keeps finding new ways to test us. Handcrafted rooms reshuffle while we wonder whether it is more therapeutic to punch things or try to understand them. Rune Song puts us in the boots of Baba, a wizard baker robbed of his pastries. We run, jump, swim, and throw fireballs at slimes and death deities, with hand-drawn levels and optional dialogue for when we want to look like grown-ups. It is customer care with magic instead of patience. Death in a Party Act 1 takes us back to Maniland, a 90s park where there are no monsters, only people, which is honestly much worse. We explore corridors soaked in memories, hunt for clues, and piece together things we were better off forgetting. Retro-tinged psych horror, mature themes, and a stomach-nodding atmosphere, we push forward because nostalgia here is a ride that never stops. Sova rewrites the story every run, and, funny thing, usually against us. We fight fast, swap builds on the fly, cut off conversations, forge or break bonds and bend reality, while enemies remember our mistakes better than our diary. Polished pixel art and a reactive score, perfect companions for our forced revision session. stages Afro-Brazilian myths with hand-painted art and turns them into a roguelite where the metronome is percussion and every missed beat is a hit taken. Between relics, blessings, dodges and parries, we learn that the absence of checkpoints is not a punishment. It is a crash course in humility. Wanderling is a roguelike platformer where, yes, we are a sandmouse with a better sense of direction than us. We descend into labyrinthine dungeons, map by hand, raid by day, and hurry back to the shop before night falls. Then we buy an upgrade, shrug, and head down again because the sand is not going to dig itself. Your Majesty has us ruling through deck building, surrounded by advisors who love saying, "We predicted this," after the disaster. We play cards for policies and resources, tame rebellions, dodge unapproved swarms, and choose between military glory and prosperity. All while knowing the true threat to the throne is the budget, not the dragon. Mina the Hollower rekindles handheld nostalgia and reminds us why our wrists do not. We lash, jump, and burrow through an interconnected world, equip trinkets, shift style with sidearms and upgrades, and face tough bosses while the soundtrack drives us onward. It is the past knocking at the door, and we pretend not to hear it until it slaps us awake. Manga build roguelike is the deck builder roguelike that makes us fight with, you guessed it, layout. We collect manga panels and arrange them on the page to build our action sequence turn after turn, like an editor with a side hobby and flying kicks. Between tactical puzzles and crisp pixel art, we test combos, improvise strategies, and assemble the perfect page to floor our enemies, since the build is literally on paper.